Just great. But I really hope that this is the last batch. Kill a general now. I thought we were done, but no.
Just what?
There's more.
The Lyrian army had grown into a great serpent.
I know this
So
from yesterday.
suddenly,
This is where I stopped yesterday. The fight. How long is it? 50 hours? 100 hours? Bell.
Surround
It is.
them!
We must trust each other.
Fuck.
God is free!
I'll fight to my last breath.
New orders? No? You mad? Don't shake that! Must be an important lesson in this. But what?
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Hundred and 102, 103.
Ow!
152, 154.
Really, only one bug. You're lucky then.
May disgrace ends here! Time I wiped it away! Cannot be in!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
What's the matter with this idiot? First bug after 150 hours. I can't believe that. I just can't believe that.
This could hurt. Scheiß! Mercy! Have mercy!
Normally disciplined, determined to an extreme, these Nilfgaardians quickly broke rank and ran.
Deserters! Leaderless cigarette!
Oh,
scout
will I replay
reported.
the game?
itself
They need
there
to
was,
optimize
towards
the
the
game. I
frontier.
can't go with
Chained
those loading
prisoners
screens
now
again.
sat along the dusty road.
Hello, Kevin.
Meve stopped in front of one. He
Game
was
is great.
ragged and unshaven. Flies had taken an interest in his poorly bandaged hand. Spotting the queen, he lowered his head and quivered with terror.
I know you take us for savages,
Began Meve, her gaze passing over several scraggy black clads.
but fear not. We shan't flay you alive nor eat you for dinner. And when a truce is signed, you'll be sent home, where I most sincerely hope you'll stay this time.
As the queen mounted her horse, she barely concealed a grimace. Her thighs were sore and chafed, her hands raw from the reins. But she bit her lip and rode on, for the prize was now very near.
Was in Aldersburg when it fell.
I would like to
Broke my
replay
heart, that did.
Pathfinder,
Not
but
complete.
I would
No,
also
take it
like
back.
to see like 9, 10 new companions with every classes included. Not with the same companions anymore.
Other kings could learn a thing or it was we who
I already seen everything there is, you know. I won't change much, however I play now, I won't change much. Yeah, but once they release everything there is, not before that. No bloody way. Yeah, I should go with Pillars of Eternity 2 and all the DLCs. I should do that. Yes, I hope this is the end very soon. I mean, I just started the stream to end the game, to be
The
honest.
good mothers guided you to victory. Nilfgaard angered the gods. The entire...
Meve was listening to a scout's report when screams suddenly burst from the prisoner transport. In a moment, Meve bore witness to a truly macabre sight. The Nilfgaardian captives to whom she had recently been merciful lay dead, massacred in cold blood among the camp's tents.
Blast it all.
Seethed the queen, looking at the bloodied corpses. Those responsible for the deed, peasants from the quarry at Ravencloft, Meve had welcomed into her ranks. The harm they'd endured from Nilfgaardians wielding whips. This was what had festered in their hearts and minds.
That won't happen.
The Rivians couldn't accept that their oppressors had gone unpunished. So they took matters into their own hands, in defiance of the queen.
There's fiends, not folk.
Cried the peasants, now armed and in uniform.
They was owed this, plain and simple.
It had been justice by a mob, and Meve knew it should not go unpunished. Yet at the last, ignoring her advisor's counsel, she left the former slaves' fate for their commanders to decide. For the queen had grown weary of choosing between two evils, each one darker than the other.
Really?
Yes, Your Grace?
The war nears its end. What next for Reynard Odo?
Whatever you command, Your Grace.
Ugh.
Is something amiss, my lady?
I wish to be more to you than your queen. Get the fuck up.
It's nothing, Reynard. Unimportant. It's time I attended.
Huh? What is
You
it now?
survived, Arnulf.
The war nears its end.
Sadly,
Sadly, why?
I survived. Again.
He can die.
Rebuild your land, Queen. Enjoy your life. Me and my men, we'll be moving on.
Arnulf, in Lyria and Rivia, your past matters not. Nor does your shame. Stay.
What about after? What do I tell my ancestors when the time comes? I yearn to sit at their table, lass, and drink mead in their company, so go I must.
So long, Arnulf. Yes? War's nearly over. What will you do? Where will you go?
The war against Nilfgaard, perhaps. But others drag on, and will continue to do so.
What do you mean? What war will persist?
Scoia'tael survivors still hide in the forests.
Yes, but I've heard they retreat to the east. Simply let them go. Let them leave our lands. Why ever not?
To see them return even stronger? No. We must slit their throats, one and all. Now. Crush them like worms beneath our boots.
Rayla, at some point one must admit there's been pain enough. One must put away the bloodlust.
I shall do so in my grave, and not a moment sooner.
I must go.
What can I pour you, milady? Vizima's finest? Or a nice Redanian bitter?
There's nothing else we can do. Let's go and let's finish the game. I don't need to loot anything else.
Meve noticed one of her scouts, a certain Corporal Larkin, halt his mount and train his gaze on the woods.
Your Grace, I thought I heard something. Could have sworn. A whisper, maybe, but... nothing now. It's all gone quiet. I think I might have imagined it, in fact.
Imagined?
Meve placed her hand on his shoulder.
No one has sharper senses than you. If you claim to have heard something, it's worth a closer look.
Corporal Larkin saluted, then rode past the trees. Suddenly in shadow, he keenly scanned his surroundings. Something caught his attention. He dismounted, then brushed aside ferns, exposing tracks made in the mud.
Your Majesty!
He shouted, quickly turning towards the road.
Sound the alarm! It's Squirt!
An arrow whisked through the air, pierced his throat, and suddenly silenced him. Then the forest came alive with cries in the Elder tongue. Elves on the attack.
What the fuck are Squirtle doing here? It's a shortened battle. Alright. Can you be Geralt in the game? No. You get to see Geralt for like 5 minutes. That's about it. Yes, apparently there is 2 romance options. One with Reynard, one with Gascoigne. In the final battle for Rivia, if you send Gascoigne, he dies and opens the gate. If you send Reynard, Reynard dies and opens the gate. Then you can romance Gascoigne, I guess. But I sacrifice Gascoigne, so that's why Reynard is available. What is this stupid draw? My god.
It's a trap! 2 hands!
Great!
I told you it'll never end.
Special prize, just for you, love.
Perhaps I triggered it when I spoke with Black Rayla. Summon a random elf from your deck. Every 2 turns on turn start.
Aye.
Oh.
They can't win it. Not in 100 years.
Should have listened to the old lady. My spirit's willing and all, but damn boots are killing me.
107 already.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Left, right, left, right.
I shall not fail!
Some kind of super move. You place a unit, then you draw all of those units, same units, from your deck. And then they got loyal here. They boost self by 7. When you use your hero power, they all trigger their loyal abilities. And you get around 100 out of them.
None shall tread on us!
Plus they bloody stack.
Again and again and again.
Like this.
Oh my.
Heal an ally.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Have strength, my love.
Left, right, left, right.
Let us sing the song of steel!
On Handor!
231. It's like Hearthstone. There is a parody on Hearthstone. One bell. It looks exactly the same as Hearthstone. Went. There was only one extremely difficult fight. Everything else was very easy, and it's on the hardest difficulty. So no, it doesn't get easier. This.
Death to humans!
Renna, stop! We surrender!
This is the hardest.
The Scoia'tael fighters stood no chance against Meve. When the sounds of battle finally ceased, the Queen, victorious, tossed aside her arrow-studded shield. She then ordered the commando's leader brought before her. She'd expected a ranter who would turn up his nose, spit in her face, and cry, "Death to all Dwan!" But the bloodied elf before her was no arrogant firebrand. He averted his gaze, and his lips gently trembled.
Youthful you look, elf. How many summers to you? 30? More?
Who is this? Is this Jorvet?
27, my lady.
Who is this?
27. A wonderful age. A shame to die so young.
I beg you, Renna. For mercy, I ask. If not for me, then at the least for...
Mercy? You jest. You wait in ambush, come at us like bandits, and now you dare ask for mercy.
It was no ambush.
Don't play me for a fool. I know what I saw, and I'm no stranger to warcraft.
It's not you we wished to fight. Sverre.
Then who killed Corporal Larkin, Werebubs?
When we saw you on the high road, we fell back and hid in the wood. We wanted you to pass. Your scout's hearing, very keen. He heard something, then spotted our tracks. You must understand. We had no choice.
You might have surrendered. Understand, I cannot forgive. You might have surrendered.
You know you might have surrendered.
Like Dristan's commando. Is that what you mean? They laid down their arms before an Edirnian general, who ordered them hanged. One and all, if we're to die, we prefer to die bows and swords in hand.
Why are you here? Were you to rescue Ebdahi?
Rescue someone? No, Renna. We flee. The Nilfgaardians have realized they'll lose the war and have renounced us. Without their support, we stand no chance. Demavend has loosed his hounds. They hunt our units one by one. He's offered 50 gold pieces for the head of each Scoia'tael. It's the same in Temeria and Kedwen, if not worse. We wish to join with Jorveth's unit, flee together as far as we could. It was our last hope.
Why do you tell me all this?
Because you listen still. You've not ordered me killed, so... you've clearly a heart. Eseth Aina Edu.
Elves often speak beautiful words. But it's for their deeds you must judge them, Your Grace. The Moulderwood, remember what you saw.
I beg you. So few of us remain. All tired, all wounded. We pose no threat. Let us leave your realm. Let us flee.
I shall hand you over to Demavend.
I don't rule these lands. I'm not queen here. It's for Demavend to judge you, not me.
Deliver us to him and you know what fate awaits us.
I do. But I know not what fate we face if I release you. Perhaps you'd leave in peace. Or perhaps another would stumble across your path and, like you did Corporal Larkin, you would have to kill them too. A risk I'm not willing to take.
So, death for us all is the lesser evil here?
Meve gave no reply. His eyes downcast, the elf nodded, then lifted his arms to be chained. Meve sent the Scoia'tael to Demavend. What became of them, you ask? The end of their story's not hard to surmise.
Or the Scoia'tael. I was right. They were lying.
We will lead all anew. Treat yourself to our new view. For a better future through and through. First foundations hoist the walls, then we'll revel in its whole. Everyone's doing their part to rebuild the homeland. We will lead.
Lyria, Rivia won the
Mirko
war.
advises against taking on any credit in Kaviri marks or Pavisian Byzant. No profit to be had. If only all the midgets were like Master Mirko. Dwarves offer the lowest interest rates. If only all the
Dwarves offer the lowest rates.
Fresh eggs! Fresh eggs for sale!
Sausage! Cheese! Milk! Exotic silks!
Berries and grains expel without a strain.
As ever, the market in Harmelan bustled with life. Though that particular day, Meve was earnestly surprised at the sight. For just months before, Nilfgaard had leveled the city. Harmelan's rebirth was now well underway. Folk hammered and sawed, and the scent of fresh mortar filled the air as the city rose from its ashes.
And she hates Scoia'tael.
In spite of the
That's what she
chaos,
is.
the mayor recognized the
Crazy
queen.
bitch.
He rushed over to greet his illustrious guest.
All this must cost a veritable fortune. Where did you get the coin, good man?
It's a loan. Altogether unbelievable. A vast sum at a very low rate. To be repaid a century down the line.
My. A banker with deep pockets and a generous spirit. Droll, I'd say, if I wasn't eager to meet him.
Nothing simpler, your grace. He lives in a house on the market square.
Intrigued, the queen asked to meet the mysterious financier. And who should come out to greet her, if not Mirko Vidmar? When last they'd met, Meve had helped the dwarf to raise the funds for his enterprise.
Now he pays it back.
I cannot believe my eyes. My royal benefactor. Oh, didn't just stand there. Come in, come in.
The bank was a frantic flurry of activity. Papers rustled, coins clinked, and stamps slammed the countertops.
You gave the city a loan, I heard. Preferential, to say the least. An entire century to repay it.
What's the rush? Fact is, I enjoy seeing them work. The progress they make, it's mental. Every last one of them builds what he wants. In Mahakam, we'd spend a year debating whether to pound a nail 9 times or 10.
The Queen and Mirko shared a sumptuous dinner. They toasted his success, and she set off once more. The following morn, the quartermaster approached. A vexed grin on his face, he reported the news. Soldiers had found a chest in one of the wagons. When opened, it proved to be brimming with gold. None could say for certain whence it had come, but Meve had her suspicions.
Is that it? This is where it ends, finally. At least I hope so. I think this is where it ends. It's gotta end here.
An honor to fight at your side,
Kingdom and camp.
Side by side, we'll kick those black clads across the Yoruba. Long live Eden! Long live Rivia! Long live Hyrule! Lyria! Side by side.
Sieging Guardians. Where is Demavent? Tent. Can go up.
The Lyrian corps neared Aldersburg, and it could not have been on a more idyllic day. The sun shone, birds sang, trees rustled in a light breeze. But Meve saw it as she had at the war's start. Walls illumined by a fire's glow, the cries of fleeing civilians, the stench of burning flesh. As on that day, Aldersburg was under siege. Yet this time, Eden's flags fluttered in the field, while Nilfgaard's tattered sons crowned the fort's towers. The Queen found Demoven's tent without difficulty. Made of sheets of silk edged with silver thread, it positively shone.
Seems the realm's restored to a virtuous path,
muttered Meve.
Aha! There she is! Queen Meve, savior of the North, the Sun Slayer.
Mockery I don't appreciate.
I wouldn't dare. Not my words, those. You've been painted thus in song. Master Dandelion himself wrote a ballad, The Battle for the Bridge. If you take the bard at his word, you're as fierce with a blade as any witcher.
Is that jealousy I hear?
To be perfectly honest, Meve, it is. For I hadn't the pluck nor resolve. And when all the North tucked tail, went to shite, you alone stepped up and bared your fangs. Let it be a lesson for the future to us all.
You called out the future. Tell me, how's your son?
Baldwin. Oh, growing like a weed he is. And the spitting image of his old man.
Good news all, especially given the mother's profession.
She's now Countess Demeretta of Gullet, a lady of the court.
Ooh, your lawful wife must be thrilled.
Hard to say in truth. I've not seen her in some time. Duty keeps me away, you understand.
You work hard, I'm certain. Many a night, too.
You might say so indeed. But enough about me. As we're chirping away like two gossips in the field, do tell me, what a villain.
What do you think? I tossed him in the dungeon.
Justly so. Wisen him up. Make him live on bread and water a bit.
A bit? Oh no, my friend. He shan't emerge anytime soon, believe me. A lesson for the future? What do you mean?
My dear, this war won't change a bloody thing, you know. Nilfgaard will be Nilfgaard, the North, the North. We'll sign a truce, the Blackclads will turn tail towards home. But the old borders don't satisfy us so.
I'm perfectly satisfied with them, thank you. And I just wish other folk would respect them too.
You're one hell of a warrior, but you're no strategist at all. Your perspective, you've got to broaden it. Nilfgaard, we cannot allow it to regain strength and spirit, else we'll face another invasion within a decade or two. Measures are required. Preventive, preemptive, whatever the learned call it. Build an army, a vast one. Wait in ambush. And when they least expect it, break their bloody spine. Just think, if we were to join forces...
Enough. I don't wish to hear it. Won't even entertain the thought. I'll help you take Aldersburg, but then I'll go home, where, God's willing, I'll live to a ripe old age.
As you wish. We can mount the assault at any time, but...
But?
My scouts report a small Nilfgaardian force approaching from the south. They've stayed off the roads, moved only under the cover of night, escorting someone.
Who?
I've no notion. Could be a mage. Devilishly unpredictable, that lot. Could wreak havoc in our ranks. Either way, before we rush at the walls, we must make certain they don't reach Aldersburg at all.
I shall see to it.
Are you sure? You've just arrived. Must be weary after the long journey.
An understatement if I ever heard one. But I wish all this to be over, quickly.
Meve set out after the Nilfgaardians immediately, a cavalry escort in tow. Her unmatched scouts, who had led the army through the mountains of Mahakam and Angren swamps, quickly found the enemy's trail.
This way, Your Grace. It's not far now.
That very same day, Meve's force caught up to the mysterious black-clad unit. Lyrian riders surrounded the foe, forcing the Nilfgaardians to halt. All fell so quiet, the creaking of taut Lyrian bowstrings could be discerned.
The common tongue. Which of you knows it?
I do, Your Majesty.
You also know who you deal with, I see. What is your name?
Kaldvin, Your Majesty.
At last. A Nilfgaardian name I can pronounce. So, Kaldwin, it seems this war will reach its end in 2 days' time at the most. 'Twould be silly to die today, wouldn't you agree?
It would, milady.
Precisely. I've spilled enough blood. I've lost the appetite for more. So, provided you don't give me a good reason to kill you, you'll walk away with your lives. Now tell me. You carry something for General Ebdahi. What is it?
A letter.
Urgent to the point of insanity, it must be. Who wrote it? The dear Madam Ebdahi?
No, Your Majesty. The Emperor.
My. A letter from Emir himself. You must be an important person. A noble, or... Yet your uniform is simple, with no discernible distinctions. Who are you truly, Kaldwin? A spy?
A simple messenger, Your Majesty.
Don't lie. I know messengers, how they travel. Alone, armorless, atop a swift steed. You're escorted by cavalry of the heavy sort.
For I often carry orders the recipients don't wish to perform, thus the escort.
Give me the letter.
I've sworn to deliver it to General Ebdahi, or to die in the quest to do so.
Oh, very well. My translator shall read this letter, then return it to you. You shall break no vow, and who knows? You might even survive.
And if I refuse?
Guess.
So be it. I accept your offer.
Meve's translator cracked the seal and read. And as he read, his eyes grew wide as saucers. Then he whispered in the Queen's ear.
Truly. And you're certain you're not mistaken. The wonders of this world. Kaldwin, consider this your lucky day. I allow you to complete your mission, with one proviso.
And that is?
That when you hand him the letter, you will give the General my regards.
As Kaldwin and escort set off towards Aldersburg, the Lyrian soldiers looked at their queen with disbelief. To leave a Nilfgaardian to fulfill a secretive task. Meve failed to stifle a rather mean laugh. They'll understand tomorrow, she thought.
What was in the letter? Empire the Masquerade.
General Ebdahi
yes,
had prefaced Lyria's and Rivia's invasion with a series of arrogant demands. The Nilfgaardian had been impudent, as he had felt sure he'd achieve a quick and decisive victory. Yet several months on, he too received an ultimatum. One signed by Emperor Emir var Emreis himself. The missive was concise and left no room for interpretation. With General Ebdahi dead, the Nilfgaardian army descended into chaos. The kings of the north, united, took advantage and struck at the foe. Their victory was complete. The Nordling forces cheered their commanders and monarchs, but for none so vehemently as the one queen among them. Many dream of achieving the impossible. Meve had done it. Through wit, determination, and boldness, she had thwarted the Nilfgaardian invasion. The queen would rule for many more years. Stern, yet ever just.
Ah! So a lass saved the North from the Blackclads?
That is one way to put it.
Well, I'll be damned. And a chap. She find herself one in the end?
Leave it be. Bloke's been spinning the tale all night. Story's done. Time we got some shut-eye.
Yes. Particularly as we've yet a long road before us.
Phew. Throat must be parched as old leather after all that. Except, I'm itching to know what happened to the lot of them. Reynard, Gascon.
Ah, very well. Whom shall we start with? Willem? Meve never forgave him his betrayal. Left to rot in Rivia's dungeon, His strength and spirit waned until he quietly expired. He was buried in secret. No speeches, no honors. His tomb, a plain one, of roughly hewn stone. Gascon was buried with honors of the most refined yet mournful sort. His peer lords themselves bore the casket. Soldiers in parade dress beat the funeral drums, and a new stone figure appeared beside the Brossard family vault, the very pointer from their crest, a ducal crown upon its head. As news of the Nordling victory filtered south, Nilfgaard's inhabitants greeted it with disbelief. Returning Imperial soldiers told stories of Lyria's cruel queen, who murdered prisoners and sullied sacred laws. They referred to her as Gvaeldet, the bloodthirsty one. Once the Scoia'tael had withdrawn from the northern realms, non-rebel elves and dwarves emerged from the woods. Though they returned to their homes in human communities, they lived in fear of their neighbors, aware that the next massacre would eventually come. And Meve? As I said, she ruled with an iron hand, not fist. Ever alone, ever strong, dousing dissent with commanding gestures. She was beloved, I've no doubt. Yet her subjects always breathed easier when her gaze moved on from them to someone else. And now, if you'd allow me...
Course. Leave him be, lads. Let him get some rest. Till the time comes for the next tale.
Oh my god. What can I say? It was fun for the story only. Gameplay, it was easy. Hardest difficulty, it was repetitive. But then again, voice acting was superb, art was great, graphics were really colorful. I liked it. It's not an RPG, it's not even close to RPG. It's a regular card game. All you do is you move like an RPG. That's about it. Yeah, I knew I had like an hour left to finish the game. That's why I started this, because I'm dead bloody tired and I wanted to finish the game today so I can start something else tomorrow. I'm gonna go off and get some sleep. I don't know what I'll play. I'll see tomorrow. Then I'll be seeing you back tomorrow, people. Thanks for watching. I wish you all good night.